What is going on, everybody? Thank you again for tuning into your Tuesday touchdown. I am your host, JTM, and this is personal. It's nothing personal, it's just Bills. I got my guest in the building with me, former NFL running back James Mallory. Mal, what's going on?
What up, what up, what up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Let's get it.
And my man, a little bit short of dress now, a bit short of hair, but it's looking good, though. My man, Bills beat reporter, Wolfo 1080 himself, Muki Hawkins, John Worrell, hate list number one.
What's good? We love John Worrell, man. What you talking about?
Nah, I didn't say. I saw the other way.
Yeah, he hate my ass.
He sure do.
I hate him too.
That's cool. So obviously the word of the night is depression, despair, whatever you want to call it. Didn't want to have to do this show. The not the final show of this show, but the final post-game show of the year. And as the Bills fell in an instant classic, the Kansas City Chiefs, 42-36 in overtime, which I think that we can call this the best game of Josh Allen's career. We were talking about the Patriot game last week. Someone was asking, was that the best game of his career? This definitely takes the cake. This is absolutely 110% the best game in his career. Answer every question you can answer about him. The moxie, the clutch gene, the will to win, the hero ball, the sugar rush. He answered everything this week. But unfortunately, it was not enough. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And don't forget, we have we're not going to call it bad takes tonight because I understand the feeling. So I'm not going to say bad takes. We're going to call it angry takes tonight because there were some angry people out there after this one. And we got about 6 of them tonight. I could have kept going. I probably could have got 28 of them tonight, maybe even 100. But we had to stop at some point. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. So let's hop right into it. James, what happened, man?
Breakdown. I mean, we had the game won. I mean, I was talking trash. I'm here in my living room. My daughter and I watching the game on the phone. My brother, who at college, thought the game was over. But that's why the game of football is so beautiful, man. You got to play to the clock is at zero, all zeros, because anything can happen. It was unfortunate. It was one of the most hurtful losses I've ever experienced as a Bills fan. But I kind of instantly slipped back into player mode and start thinking about it and feeling as if I was a player. And I start analyzing and thinking about different things, different than when people looked at the 13 seconds. I didn't look at the 13 seconds. I look at other things that we could have did the first quarter. One thing that has made my stomach turn is the terrible angles of Mario Addison when chasing the quarterback. I think if we could have hit Pat Mahomes a little bit more, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it happens, man. It happens. It's unfortunate, but I know nobody want to hear this right now. We're better. We're going to be a better team in the future. I mean, this is going to make these guys tough as nails. I mean, you got to go through these type of things, man, when you build it. I think this is a dynasty that we're building. I think we got to go through it. Josh Allen answered a lot of questions. Is he a franchise quarterback? That's no question. I think he's top 3 in the league. And now that $258 million looks like a bargain. What we signed him for. Because think about if we'd have waited. Think about what his price tag would be right now if we wanted to sign him. It would be crazy.
You're talking about $52 million possibly.
Yeah, it'd be something crazy. So, I think we got a bargain there. But I think they're going to come out guns. We'll talk more about that down the road, but I think they're going to come out guns blazing next year. I wouldn't be surprised they end up 15-2, 16-1, something crazy like that. I think they're gonna run through people next year.
Mook, as you said before the show started, gone in 13 seconds.
Gone in 13 seconds. Bad coaching. Let's just call it is what it is. This is bad coaching, and to think that the Bills were on to something when Coach McDermott called timeout, like he peeked at what Kansas City was doing, and then he called timeout like he had the answer. Didn't have the answer, and I don't think that was Leslie Frazier. I think that was all McDermott, those final seconds. I don't think Leslie Frazier does that because he didn't do it the whole game. So why would they do it now that way? Why would you give why would you give their star players free releases off the line of scrimmage? You know, and you know, McDermott in the presser, he don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? The only thing he says is just, I wish they would have executed better. I get that, but why put them in that position? First of all, you should have squib kicked the ball. If you squib tick it, let's say they squib it to the 10. You squib it to the 10, he picks it up. 9 times out of 10, he's going to probably make it to about the 25. Let's say he makes it to the 25. That's about 4 to 5 seconds that's gone off the clock after that. So it's about 9 seconds left. After that, I'm playing cover 4. I'm only going to rush 3. I'm going to have 4 over the top. I'm going to have 4 underneath, but my corners is pressing. My corners is pressing Kelsey, and they're pressing Tariq. All right. And I'm just going to send a 3-man pressure. I might even just send a 2-man pressure and drop 9 in coverage and make Mahomes do something quick with the football. If he scrambles, most 9 times out of 10, he gets 10 yards. Okay, let's say he gets 10 yards, run out of bounds. He's at the 35. Guess what? Another 5 seconds runs off the clock. So right now, Kansas City is at the 35-yard line with 4 seconds to go in the damn ball game. At that point, you can't do nothing but a damn desperation heave, and we are on in Cincinnati. Horrible coaching, horrible coaching, horrible coaching. And I said this before, you know, the playoffs will expose you, who you really are. Okay, yeah, we did have the number 1 defense, but let's talk about how we're going to expose the number 1 defense. We're going to go at the weakest link, which is 39 and 97. If you look at any scouting report, teams run at 9-7 and teams throw at 39. So in the money moments, again, who did Travis Kelce catch the ball on to get in field goal range? 39. Who did Tyreek Hill smoke on an outside release and then end up doing the in cut for 70 yards for the potential game winner that we thought would have been the game winner? Levi Wallace. Who did McCole Hartman toast for the actual game, set up the game winning score? 39. Nobody else. You know, so it's like, it exposed the Bills for what they really are. We out here with a 7th round draft pick. We out here with an undrafted free agent playing cornerback for us right now. Now, this is the game where we really miss Tre'Davious White, even though teams throw at Tre'Davious White. But Tre'Davious is going to make plays. Tre'Davious runs 4.4. All right. Everybody else on that defense, they're running 4.6s. You know, that's the reason why they're drafted or not drafted, because the Bills as a whole, as a team, lacks team speed. We got Isaiah McKenzie as our fastest guy, and he barely plays.
Again, we went back. You know, I want you to stop you right there about Isaiah McKenzie, because we just saw this guy, what was it, 3 weeks ago? Big one of the biggest games of the season on the road, and he puts up 125 yards, and then here we are. We're not in the game. We're not in the game plan again. We're not in the game plan again. And no jet sweep motions, nothing to move the KC deep. So now, mind you, we didn't have a problem scoring, but still, it doesn't matter. And he released a pretty quick, what I thought was a cryptic tweet yesterday, and I think it's been since deleted, where it says, "Josh Allen, thank you for everything, my brother, love you." You know, at the end of the day, to me, that means he's gone.
He did the same thing last year.
Did he?
He did the same exact thing last year.
Yeah, but you know what, James?
Hurt. They're thinking all types of stuff right now.
You know what, James? You know what? You're right. He did the same thing last year, but this time around, I think he's gone.
When Dave will go, yeah.
Yeah. You yo-yo with his position. You yo-yo with his role this year. You put him in and out for punt return. You made him inactive, 2 or 3 weeks this season? Then he has a big game, and you don't use him again. At this point, I won't blame him if he leaves. And if any teams out there like Tennessee or some of these teams that need some speed, need a little gadget player like that, yeah, sign him. I don't know, but I don't want to get too far off track. You know, back to this game, yeah, they did tag Levi Wallace, and I thought that and I'm on record, and I'll keep my receipts that Levi has had a solid campaign for 2022. 2021, 2022. He had a solid campaign, especially when Trey went down. Now, mind you, we didn't play the greatest teams. I'm not going to say the guy's second coming to Deion Sanders or anything like that. But for Levi Wallace, he played his best ball since I seen him in the Bills uniform. But you knew this was the game that what could go wrong with him probably would go wrong. This is the game where you missed Tre'Davious White. And not that Tre'Davious was going to stop everything, because we've seen the Bills lose to the Chiefs with Tre'Davious White in the lineup. But Tre'Davious doesn't make many mistakes. That's the difference.
I was arguing with Cover One all last week.
I saw it
because I asked Levi Wallace, "Do you feel disrespected because teams throw at you on third down?" I may not have been accurate with third down, but at the end of the day, I know what my eyes see, and my eyes see that when the game is on the line, when it's money time, teams are throwing at him. Mac Jones, and then okay, Cover One want to get on and talk this analytical crap, and then they give me his third down stats. Okay, he got through at 13 times, and they caught 7 times. So that's what 54%. Now, as a whole, Levi Wallace been targeted 81 times. He's allowed 47 catches. That is damn near 60%. So at the end of the day, when quarterbacks look at this stuff analytically, because I'm not a data guy, I'm a football guy. I could care less about analytics and all that stuff. It's nothing that nobody's going to call down to me and tell me analytically that I don't know as a football coach. Just have a knowledge of the damn game. At the end of the day, you mean to tell me if I throw over here to number 39, I have a 60% chance on completing the pass? That's where I'm going with the football. Remember when Josh Allen said, I heard there was a stat. Every time that I throw at least 60% completion rate, we win the game. So what is that telling you? If Josh Allen's saying it, and this guy over here, we throw at him and 60 times, and we got a high percentage of completing that pass, I'm throwing that over there. Mac Jones threw at him 4 times, completed 3 passes. The one incompletion was Micah Hyde bailing him out on that interception. He only threw to Dane Jackson twice and only completed 1 pass. So why are they not throwing at the unexperienced guy and they throwing at Levi Wallace has? Because on tape, on film, the book is you can get away with 39. He's not going to tackle you, and he's going to play soft-ass coverage. That's why Kansas City did the same thing. They ain't threw at 30. They threw at 39. And I don't know why people just, I don't know what type of season people keep saying that Levi Wallace had. Yeah, he had a good season, but he got exposed. At the end of the day, he was the weakest link on the team, and teams exposed that. It's just that the Bills has just been getting away with it because they have been playing mediocre teams. But when you play one of the top teams around here, it's exposure time, and the Bills got exposed. Even though they still should have won the game, but at the end of the day, Kansas City knew who to go at, and they did that. They didn't go at nobody else. They went straight at 39. So
yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe out of Mahomes, out of his 378 yards, 150 was given up by Levi Wallace. Obviously, the 64-yard catch by Tyreek Hill was the chunk of it. But like I said, end of the day, it didn't surprise me that they went at it. It didn't surprise me that this was the game that Levi Wallace was struggling, and that it would show the Bills without Tre'Davious White. That's no surprise, and I think we all expected this to be a shootout. It wasn't going to be the Bills going to come out and dominate the Kansas City Chiefs again after whooping them up like they did 38-20 in Week 5. But James, so what are your thoughts on just Levi Wallace? Because this is a guy that me and you we've talked about all offseason, where we felt that Levi Wallace, he's solid, he's not great. I'm still putting in for an extension for Levi Wallace, but I'm still looking for
Levi Wallace won't start on no other team, bro. You can quote me on that. Levi Wallace won't start for no other team in the league, bro.
I totally disagree with that.
He won't start for nobody in the NFL.
And the reason why I disagree with that, it depends what you want in the corner. It depends what you're looking for in the corner. If you want aggressive corners who are gonna man up the whole game, he's not your guy. If you play a zone heavy scheme, he can fit. Am I saying he's one of these top dudes in the league? No. Am I saying he's serviceable? Absolutely, yeah. I see a lot of dudes on Sundays backpedaling that's way worse than Levi, and we can have that discussion because he's not the worst. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but he's a starter in the NFL. Period. You know, and anybody that says different, I mean, I just beg to differ. I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? We got that discussion. Josh Norman couldn't even take his job full time. And guess what? He just went out there and played a lot for the 49ers, who moved on this week. You know what I'm saying? So, and we can have that discussion. You know, so we could go back and forth with that. You know what I mean? He's a serviceable corner. You know,
he's not a starter. He's serviceable, but he's not a starter.
A starter is a top. Okay, a starter is considered a top. You mean to tell me there's 64 cornerbacks better than him in the NFL?
Yep.
That's crazy. That's preposterous. That's just preposterous. Yep. There's not 64 cornerbacks.
Why he didn't get drafted then? He's an undrafted free agent. Why he didn't get drafted?
By those standards, and what you said, anybody that's undrafted is ass and don't belong in the NFL.
It's a reason why he didn't get drafted. So
forever. So just like there's undrafted guys who ball out, there's first round picks, there's bums too. You know what I mean? So that don't mean nothing. If you can ball, you can ball. Bro, guys is overlooked and misevaluated every year.
How many people you know that takes an outside release and beat you clear out on that end cut for 70?
Well, let me ask you this. How many people have you met that's faster? How many people in the league that's ever played that's faster than Tyreek Hill? You're not talking talking about John Smith who was smoking cigarettes all week and came out and played football. That's semi-pro shit. Excuse my French. We talking about a dude that's elite, world-class speed. This dude is one of the fastest people to ever walk in the NFL. And we talking about this like it's just an average Joe. That's not the case.
Man, whatever happened to accepting the challenge and going the ball out, man? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Have some heart. Man ain't played with no heart out there. He didn't make a play. Cornerbacks, you got to make plays, man. Boys ain't making plays out there, man. It's game time. It's step up or step down time. Boys ain't
Levi Wallace is who he is.
Okay, so explain to me with Kelsey then. Why is you playing so soft on Kelsey and you know they got to go the distance?
Well, let me ask this question.
Catch 25 yards.
Well, let me ask this question because I said we are going to get into that segment about McDermott and Frazier. We might well just switch to that now because this is where it's headed. We head into the defense, so we might well go ahead and get to it. About that Kelsey release, and this is what I think you were saying earlier, right? About dropping rushing 2 or maybe only rushing 3. First of all, somebody should have had the hook zone. Milano didn't play that right either. Neither did Wallace.
They had trips to the right side. They isolated Kelsey one-on-one, singled him up. And Milano was in the middle of the field, and the rest of the guys shifted to the trip side. That was just complete horrible defense.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is we rushed 4. And then we did some type of stalk spy rush with Mario Addison at that as the 4th rusher. I'm not wrong, right? We did do that stupid ass. Excuse my language, but we did some stupid ass spy stalk rush where he delayed his rush to go at Pat Mahomes when he couldn't even get to him with a regular rush all night. I don't understand, and I just think in that situation. We may have put too much faith in Levi Wallace in that particular situation to say, okay, as Chips, you're going to man Kelsey up. We should have had another guy back there. Personally, we probably should have had Tremaine Edmonds out the game and Mario Addison out the game. And at some point, week 3, what do? We put Saran Neal on Travis Kelsey for the most of the game. Why do we come back this game and now we got Matt Milano guarding Travis Kelsey? We just neutralized this dude in week 5, and we went completely away from what we did. Why? I don't understand why. And this is why nothing against Leslie Frazier, but this game right here just cost Leslie Frazier a head coaching position. And he had a slim chance. He had a slim chance at one anyway, in my opinion. But this deaded it because that last 13 seconds. We don't know who to blame. We don't know to blame Sean, and we don't know if we're going to blame Leslie. But we know what? You know who's going to hurt worse? Leslie. Job's done.
But decisions like that fall on the head coach.
It does. No, you're right.
Decisions like that fall on the head coach. I mean, in that situation, there's nothing that Leslie Frazier could have called that wouldn't have ran by McDermott ears first. Right. So that falls on the head coach.
Right. I mean, both defense was horrible. I mean, it was an offensive game. You know what I mean? It all boiled down to who was going to get the ball last, and we know who got the ball last. But still, to get a stop, I mean, why y'all couldn't even get a stop to make them at least kick a field goal in overtime? Y'all playing man? Like, I mean, I didn't understand what they're playing. Now, James, you said now he's good in zone. So why were they in man? Why?
We don't even play man.
That's not a strength.
But why were they in man? They were
That's
in
not
man.
a strength of Dane Jackson or Levi Wallace. I can't
They
answer
were
that
in
question.
man. They were in man that didn't send a blitzer at all. Like they was completely in man. Like Tremaine Edmonds was taking a running back that was doing, that was bellying out, and he was bailing out of the middle of the field, and they weren't doing nothing but running crossing.
They're going right behind him. Right behind him 3 times in a row.
Well,
right
if you see the weakness, I mean, what lost us to Tampa game? Mesh route.
Yeah, they did the same exact thing that Tampa Bay did in overtime that won the game.
That's exactly what it. That's something. It's a communication issue. And honestly, with Levi Wallace is the most athletic man in the world, nor is Dane Jackson. So that's why they're zone corners. That's their strength. So if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm running crossing routes. I'm making them guys chase people. So that's what hurt us. I mean, if you see what really hurt us, it's crossing route, mesh combinations. It was no good, man. It was no good.
No, it wasn't.
Exposure.
And you go back. I almost felt like in the second half, right when the game got tough, we almost went back to that same base defense that they killed us with last year in the playoffs. Everybody playing back. We allowing everything underneath. We allowing but Jarrett McKinney was catching the ball at the line of scrimmage and not being touched to 7 yards down the field. Over and over and over again. Mahomes didn't really kill us deep. He didn't take any deep shots. He didn't have to. Once again, second year in a row, he didn't have to take any deep shots. Kept everything in front. We're just going to hit you with the crossing routes. We're going to hit you underneath. And guess what? Yak, and more yak. All game. But we don't put Saran Neal on the field at all. He neutralized Kelsey.
While we sleep, is somebody going to pay him? We better be careful.
Yeah. That's one guy that needs to get an extension immediately because what he does on special teams is
he may be the best gunner. He may be the best gunner ever.
You think so? When it's all said and done.
Let's talk about that one day. He may be the best gunner ever.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean,
these guys get paid millions of dollars. That's why I'm blaming players. You get paid millions of dollars to do your job, and they ain't do jack crap out there. So of course, yeah, I'm gonna put a name on it. That's how I go. I'm gonna call it like I said. I'm gonna put a name on it. You got to step up to the plate and make plays. At the end of the day, you got to make plays. This team's throwing at you, you got to make plays. You control the outcome at the end of the day, and that's why I'm telling you. I asked the man to his face, and he acted like he didn't know what I was talking about. Well, I didn't know that. Teams did that. Oh, really? Really? I wish I could ask him that again. And see what he have to say. Because they throwing at you, bro. And when is you going to accept the challenge that, you're going to make a play so they can stop, make them back off? What are you going to do to make teams back off you? He has a market value right now to $5 to $6 million.
Per year, right.
The Bills is not going to pay that man $5 to $6 million. I don't think anybody's going to pay that man $5 to $6 million.
Somebody is the Bills. I don't think the Bills will. I think they're probably ready to move on now. Unless they get them at some ridiculously cheap price. I mean, they're probably going to go get a super athletic corner to put on the opposite side of Trey White, and then Dane Jackson probably going to be a fourth corner next year. Well, I like Nick McLeud. I personally like Nick McLeud a lot. So, but we can't be banking on trying to do that. We got to go get some game players. We can't just keep thinking that these 6th and 7th round and these undrafted picks are going to just blossom into stars. We got to fight star power with star power. All right, we have no star power. Right? But where that money coming from, Muki?
In the draft.
Okay, but
in the draft,
you do realize over 50% of first round picks are busts, right? So that don't guarantee that you're gonna hit. Right.
Man, hey, well, you got to go get that guy. If we got to move up in the draft to go get him, then so be it.
I'm going to give you one.
We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We ain't trying to keep nitpicking with this. We trying to win a Super Bowl. So we got to go after the guys. Look at the Rams. They all in because they trying to win a Super Bowl. They went to go and get OBJ. They went and got Von Miller.
Well, OBJ was a guess.
When is we going to take that turn? When is we're going to go and make that big splash? We got Steph Diggs and then we stop. We got to go all in. You got to fight fire with star power. We can't be matched up with stars against mediocre.
Well, I hear you. I hear you, but where I disagree with that is because eventually they're gonna be in the Saints position where they're in cap jail and they're gonna be bad for 4 years. They're building something different here, and I understand it. I understand what you're saying.
How is that? How is that if we move up in the draft and go get a guy like
no, I'm talking about the Rams, what they did. That's a lot
The
different.
Rams,
They ain't moving up
mortgage
in
in
the
the
draft.
future.
That's going to trade
because
and sign dudes.
they're banking on now. They're all in for a Super Bowl this year, not next year.
Exactly. And in 3 years, they're gonna be talking about who they picking first overall to be their franchise quarterback.
Well, they're not gonna have a number one pick because they've traded their number one picks, I think, for the next 4 years. And I mean that. So
when you win a Super Bowl, fellas, that is it's money well spent. Y'all missing the picture. They're not. I'm not missing the picture. What's going to happen to them down the line? They're thinking about now. They are in it to win it now. They understand they're going to suffer the consequences later, but they are all in this year.
So basically, you saying it's worth sacrificing your future for one Super Bowl?
Yeah, if you know you're a player away. If you know you're a player or two.
Okay, so this I think that what's happening here is we're on a little bit two different pages. What James is saying is going the route that the Rams are going, where you traded all your picks because they've traded first and second round picks like the next 4 years for Stafford, Miller, Jalen Ramsey. If they don't win this, they're going to be in trouble. Now, if you do something similar to what the Saints have done, where the Saints didn't really go all in. They kind of paid all their players to keep them, and they did, structuring with the contracts where now they're $73 million in the hole. You see Sean Payton's like, hey, I'm up out of here right now because this is a mess. I think the Bills need to make some splashes. It needs to be the right splashes.
I agree with that.
I'm looking at 3 holes on this team going into the offseason. I love the way Ryan Bates has played at guard this season, but to your point, Muki, about some of Levi Wallace, I'm looking for an upgrade there, okay? I'm also looking at you need a running mate for Ed Oliver at defensive tackle. We got to figure that shit out now.
Yes.
Because we put, first of all, and I want to highlight this. The reason Mario Addison was spying was because we put F.A. Obata as the spy at the beginning of the game, and he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He had no idea how to spy, and he got all turned around on one of Mahomes' run and yanked him out of there, okay? You got to find a running mate at the defensive tackle spot. Yes, we do. I'm okay with extending Levi to a fair deal, okay? But at the same time, I'm still bringing another cornerback in. I'll extend Levi. I'm going to bring another one in. I don't care if that's the second round. I don't care if that's the first round. I don't care if it's the third round. I don't care if it's a free agent. I'm bringing another one in. Or a guy that I'm eyeing and I'm looking at is in the guy in Cleveland. You talk about athleticism, and James, you're talking about his own fit. Greedy Williams. Greedy Williams is getting no burn in Cleveland. He can't catch the line. It's time for a change of scenery, but he's 6'2", he's 200 pounds, and he runs a 4.39 40. We know he can play because he played at LSU, and he has an LSU mate across from him to help him get up to speed. So that's a move that I'm looking at. That wouldn't take a first round pick. That may take a 4th or 5th round pick, probably a 5th round pick at this point to get him. Or unfortunately, if I have to say it, if they trade a Kareem Hunt, maybe you move a Zach Moss, maybe you move a Cody Ford and say, hey, you Wyatt Teller here. Let's swap players who aren't doing well here and see if we can get a change of scenery.
Zach Moss got to go.
But you, oh man, we're in the hoodie.
Hey, it's not personal. It's Bills.
Just Bills now. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just one move that we need. We do need an upgrade in the secondary. Yeah. We do need an upgrade on the defensive line. We do need an upgrade in the offensive line. And, as quiet as it's kept, we're going to need upgrades at receiver too. Manuel Sanders is done. I think his career is done. His knees gave out. Let's just be real. I'm glad that we had him for this year, but his knees gave out. Cole Beasley, distraction, 33 years old, $6.2 million cap hit. He's gone. Gotta go. Sorry. Cole, it's been nice. Thank you. So, reality with this offense, it doesn't matter what coordinator we have because Davis will get a head coaching job. We're still going to need 2 more receivers. So, we may have to take that in the first round. But your first 2 round picks this draft have to be impact players. Yeah. I understood the last year of drafting for future, but this year needs to be impact players, period.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree with that. I agree. And, we're talking about that. I know it's a lot, not to get too far off topic. I apologize, but my 3 things would be this. You got to go get a dude to go get the pass. Sign up somebody to a 1-year contract because Rousseau and Boogie Basham going to be them boys. They got them dudes gonna be ballers. But you need one dude like Muki. I'm with you on this one. You go get whoever you got to get on a 1-year deal. I don't give a damn what happens. You need somebody to get up there at quarterback because it was embarrassing watching Mario Addison chase. It was embarrassing.
We could have signed Shaq Lawson.
You sign somebody a 1-year deal, like, dude, go get the quarterback. I don't give a damn about nothing else. Go get the quarterback. That's number one. Number two, you need to go get a one tech. Number three, you need to get a damn return specialist because that's a major problem. Yeah. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Our returners are boo. Isaiah McKenzie's he's not a returner. Everybody, McKenzie, he's for him to be that fast, he's not a natural returner. Stop it. Muki, you know this from being a coach. You don't have to be fast to be a great returner. You're either a returner or you're not. Isaiah McKenzie is not a returner. When my boy left last year,
Andre Roberts.
I told y'all that was gonna be the biggest loss. That killed us this year. We was in a position we had to put our all-pro safety back there just to catch the punts.
Yeah,
just to catch them. We need to go get a returner. That need to be day one. You need to sign a return specialist immediately. That's a major problem. It's going to cost us eventually if they don't take care of that.
They got Stevenson. Maybe they say he gets better. You know what I mean? He did have some rookie blunders. He has some issues with Corral in the football as well. But they still got him in the fold. Don't forget they still got.
But Muki, some guys just naturally returners. He don't look like a nat. You can turn him. They trying to turn him into one. Some dudes are natural. He's not a natural.
Go get Cordell Patterson.
That's a name. That's a name because you know what? You're going to need a second running back too, possibly. And he fits a lot. Cordell Patterson is a name that fits a lot of holes for us. Kick returner, punt returner, running back, and you know what? Receiver as well.
I was in on Cordell Patterson 5 years ago when he was leaving Minnesota, and Bills ain't pulled the trigger then. I'm still high on him now. Go get him. You know what I mean?
You know what the sad thing about Cordell Patterson is he is the victim of old coaches coaching in this league and not understanding how to use him. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a victim of old coaches not knowing how to use him. If you would have put Cordell Patterson in that same role that we had Isaiah McKenzie, you know how much more production we would have had, how more dangerous this offense would have been with him in it. And that's not a knock at Isaiah McKenzie, but Cordell Patterson was a first round pick for a reason years ago.
He's a lead at what he do.
Well, one old coach that did know how to use him right was Bill Belichick.
Yes, he did.
You know what I mean? Bill Belichick was the first one to put him in the backfield.
Was he New England or Bears first? New England, right?
New England.
Yeah. But I'm going to give you guys a name, and like I said, we're going to get back to what we was talking about. Braxton Berrios is another name, if he hits the market, that I will look at. He fits a lot of holes here as well with the Jets. Slot receiver, 4.3 speed, and I don't think we just need speed on defense. I think we need to add speed on offense as well.
Our team speed overall is horrible.
You're right. We don't have a lot of fast cats.
We don't have no speed at running back. We don't have no speed at wide receiver. Dawson Knox is probably the fastest guy on the off. Well, I say Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs is running 4.4s, and then you got Dawson Knox running 4.5. So he's probably them two is the fastest guy on the offense, and then probably next to that is your quarterback. Your running backs are running 4.6s, so they don't have no breakaway speed to run away from nobody. All right, so both running backs are running sub 4.6s, and then on our defense is just no speed, none whatsoever.
No, I mean Milano and Edmonds are fast for linebackers.
Yeah, but they're not using them right.
No,
Edmonds should be playing Sam. He should be an outside linebacker. But in this day and age where it's 11 personnel, he's forced to play, I guess inside or whatever. But they need to be using him differently. They need to have his ass come off the edge sometimes. I mean, he is fast. He is definitely fast. And he has been to get around that edge and make plays. I don't understand why they're not trying that, man.
He's an attack player. He's an attack player. That was what he was coming out of Virginia Tech. That's how Virginia Tech used him, was an attack player. Virginia Tech didn't take Tremaine Edmonds, put him in the field, said, Tremaine, we want you to diagnose this play. They ain't never did that with him.
Not at 19 years old.
No, they said, Tremaine, go attack the football. And that's what he does. You talk about put him in the middle of the field. Hey, Tremaine, we want you to diagnose this trips play with Tyreek Hill over here, Kelsey. He ain't diagnosing that.
You want to know what's crazy? He's still only 23 years old, man. That's crazy.
Right.
He's 23.
Maybe the Bills go get his brother. His brother would be a free agent this year.
I actually like that pickup. I would like that pickup. And like I said, we're gonna do a free agent show of players we like to bring up because the Bills do need a third safety.
Yeah. They
really do. And we need a safety who can play up in the box as well. So you can maybe take that linebacker off the field and have a little bit better coverage. Now, Terrain great at coverage, but intermediate, he's fine. Deep down the field, oh no. But no, I mean, I just think that, a lot of things for this defense falls on McDermott and Frazier. Frazier is not an aggressive defensive coach. I don't see him cussing his guys, overruling McDermott. In reality, I do believe this is Sean McDermott's scheme, nonetheless. This is definitely Sean McDermott's schemes. This is no different than the scheme he ran in Carolina. Because if you remember, when we talk about the Bills' defense being conservative, you have to go back to Sean McDermott's history. In Philadelphia, he tried to be aggressive like his mentor, Jim Johnson, and it pretty much got him fired. He didn't know what the hell he was doing with that. So then he went to Carolina, and he started this D-line rotation thing, and we were 1-7. It worked mostly because you had a younger Mario Addison who was a monster. I'll give him that. A younger Mario Addison was a monster. You had Luke Kuechly in the middle of it. That changes everything.
Oh no, you had Peppers out there too, bro.
Well, Peppers came back later. Peppers came back later.
Peppers went to
He was in Green Bay.
Missed the ball. Yeah,
he was in Green Bay at that time. I believe. Yeah,
he missed that ball run.
So, like I said, you have to go back to his history. But I agree. Like I said, I'm all in on extending Levi at a fair price, but also bringing another corner. See, some people get me mixed up when I say extend Levi, bring him back. I'm saying bring him back because I think it's cheap. It's a cheap talent. It's a cheap player that knows your system. But I'm not saying bring him back and don't upgrade at the same time. I think you can do both. And I know people are talking about cap space, and I'll go to a quick cap space breakdown that I've already went over.
You can't extend them and bring him back, not to starting. You know what I'm saying?
I think you can. We did it. We already did it with somebody. Who did we do it with before? Was it Trent Murphy? No, not Trent Murphy.
Feliciano.
Yeah, Feliciano. We did it.
Feliciano gotta go.
And we did it with somebody else too. With somebody else, we extended. We didn't start him. I'm trying to think who it was. I cannot remember who it was. With somebody we extended one year and we did not start them. I can't think. I know
was it Addison. Did we extend Addison?
No, man. He got his money off the top. He got his money. I can't remember who it was, but I know it was one more person that we extended and they didn't play. I think we ended up releasing them the next year. But I'm okay with extending Levi at this point. A 2-year, $12 million deal, $10 million deal, 5 guaranteed, something easy to get out of. You see that cornerback in the first round that dropped like an Ahmad Gardner who probably won't. You take him. You know what I mean?
He's not gonna drop.
He ain't dropping. No, that's why I said it ain't gonna happen. But
if he blow the 40, if he go nuts on the 40, then he's gonna be a top 10 guy.
Yeah, 6'3". Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So
he can play zone and he can play man too.
I think it's gonna be some things that we can do, but I just think that we do need some impact players. I don't know if Rousseau and Basham are going to be ready to go next year as far as to be impact pass rushers. Rousseau should be. He got enough playing time this year, but you wasted all of Basham's reps. We're rotating freaking Hughes and Addison. And last offseason when I was complaining about don't bring Jerry Hughes back or don't bring Mario Addison back, you can't bring both. No one wanted to listen. And I understood that Jerry Hughes is still a decent player in this league, but we talking about reps. All we ever hear McDermott say every summer is the word reps, every single summer. All he said last year was, well, yeah, we lost 500 reps because of COVID, right? That was the number, 500 reps. Well, why aren't you giving these kids reps? You didn't play Carlos Basham all season, and all of a sudden he's ready to go in the first 2 playoff games? That don't make a lick of sense to me.
Because you playing these high-priced bombs and Vernon Butler. You got Styler Tulare making $6 to $8 million. They got to play. You got Vernon Butler out there with $4 to $5 million. They got to play.
That's sick.
That they got to play. They got to play. You know what I mean?
Well,
and they've been juggling. They've been juggling that rotation all season long. And then here it is. Vernon Butler is inactive. And you still go out there with the same guys that you played in the AFC Championship game with. and you didn't give your young guys that you drafted, to be the answer to Patrick Mahomes and get some pressure. You didn't even use those guys. You barely use them. Espinoza played 16 snaps and got 2 pressures, way more than Mario. He's doubled his production in less snaps.
Yeah,
And that's insane. Like, I don't understand why you draft these guys in the second round if you're not using them.
I agree with that.
It just don't make any sense, man. I mean, I'm trying to win. I can care less about how much I'm paying him, because you paid Trent Murphy for $8 million. He ain't play a down last year. You didn't trade him. Talk about, he good for the locker room. You mean to tell me you paid this guy $8 million? You kept him on the team for $8 million because he's good in the damn locker room? What are we doing? We could have used that $8 million and got a impact player.
Could have rolled it over.
Yeah, I was about to say we could have.
Well, we could have got Von Miller.
Well,
Von Miller.
I was gonna say we could have used that for, once again. I think we need that 1 year defensive end to just come at and get at the pass rusher. And you mentioned Shaq Lawson. I got another name in mind. I think it'd be better at what we would need him doing. What we need on that defensive line, Randy Gregory.
Okay, a little crazy.
If we need some goons, man. We need some dudes.
McDermott don't like the goons, and that's his issue. He Randy Gregory puffing on that Chief Keef. All the McDermott's guys don't do no.
It's legal.
They don't.
It's legal.
True that. But
it's legal now.
But I look at it, I agree with you there. But if you think about this, if you give him 45% of the snaps, Russo, I think him, like I said, him and Basham, I think that's going to be one of a deadly combination. But you rotate him in, and you got Basham, AJ, and Russo. I think that's dangerous. I mean, you just need that attitude, and we need a one technique in the worst way. But I would love to see Randy Gregory on that.
Akeem Hicks is the name I'm going for if it's going to be a one tech. That's the name. I'm not playing around with it no more. I'm going for Akeem Hicks. Well, if the Eagles want to move him, but we've been hearing rumors of them wanting to move him for 3 years, and they ain't done it yet. So I didn't get Fletcher Cox. I'm on board with you, Mook, but I didn't give up on it, man. I didn't give up on it.
That's water on the bridge. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I didn't give up on the Eagles and trading them, man. But if they are, I'd be the first one to sign up for that. Most definitely. There was one thing I was thinking about, and I actually wanted to go over these snap counts for people who didn't know. These were the snap counts for the defensive linemen for this game, and I want you guys to be aware of that. Mario Addison was in a sling for most of the week. I'm going to say it again. Mario Addison was in a sling for most of the week. Jerry Hughes, 44 snaps, 58%. Ed Oliver, 43 snaps, 57%. Harrison Phillips, 37 snaps, 49%. Greg Rousseau, 36 snaps, 47%. Mario Addison, 36 snaps, 47%. F.L. Bada, a guy who's been inactive for most of the year, 35 snaps, 46%. Star Latuli, 33 unproductive snaps for 43%.
Yeah.
AJ Epinesa, 19 snaps for 25%, and Carlos Basham, 19 snaps for 25%. There's something wrong there. That math don't add up. It don't add up. What it tells me is that our veteran coaches, who I believe stick with comfort more times than not, with the players that they were comfortable with, and not the players that were going to make a difference. And it showed. You had a man out there chasing the best, second best, whatever you want to call him, quarterback in the league versus the most exotic offense in the NFL, who was in a sling for most of the week and wasn't productive before that sling, chasing them down. Something that don't add up to me.
Bad coaching.
Bad coaching. And James, I want to go back to your point about Randy Gregory. I've been saying for 3 years now, and the time is now for this, that when you're building a team, there's 3 things you got to do. I understand that you have to build the culture. They've done that. The second thing you got to do is you got to handle your draft picks. They've kind of done that. We'll see. That's still a work in process. Brandon Beane has not been the drafting wizard people give him credit for yet. I'm just going to be honest about that. And the third thing you have to do is when you become good, you have to show that your team is a safe haven for good players and talented players that have spotty track records. You have to have all 3 of those components. So when you talk about the Chiefs, They brought in a Josh Gordon. It's cool. They brought in a Tyrann Mathieu. It's cool. Spotty pass for both of them, right?
Tyreek Hill.
Le'Veon Bell. Tyreek Hill. Willie Gay just broke a damn vacuum cleaner right Tuesday morning. You know Randy Reed said? He's playing.
I don't care about the baby mama drama. He's playing.
He's playing. Screw that vacuum cleaner. So at some point, you have to pick talent over culture. And once you do that, like I said, Randy Gregory, he's crazy as hell. But Charles Haley got a lot of Super Bowl rings. You know why? Because Charles Haley could play some football. But yeah, he was crazy as all hell. You gotta do both. I'm seeing the frustration. I feel like there's frustration from Sean McDermott all season. I think we're gonna get to that point this offseason where they say, "Yo, we got to do something."
It's there. It's there.
I think so.
It's there. They're gonna take some chances. And Muki, I know you talked to him in the presser. It's there. It's that aggravation where I think he's frustrated with some of the production of players. That's why he mentioned production. Some of the dudes came and you smelled doodle on the field, and it was some of our players. Mario
Starla
Addison.
toilet paper. Back to Starla toilet paper.
Yeah, like Starla Tule. Thank you for your services. No longer needed.
Stole our money. Stole our money.
But you got to restructure his contract. You can't release him because you don't get nothing really in return by cutting him. They only
June
say
2nd.
one.
June 2nd.
Is it June 2nd?
June 2nd is Starla Tule Day. I've been waiting for it. Trust me, Mook, I've been waiting for this day for 3 years. It's June 2nd. And if we cut him June 2nd, I think we still have about 2.5, 3 dead, but we say about 5. So we're going to take a little dead on, but he got to go. He got to go. And he delayed it a year with the opt-out because there was an opt-out clause in his contract after, I think, the 3rd or 4th year, and he delayed it because he didn't play last year. And
his contract got pushed back that year.
He got to go. He got to go. Time is up. It's over. But let's get into these before we go further. Last topic I want to talk about is Gabe Davis and going to year 2 and Stefon Diggs' disappearance act, which I don't think was his fault. And I think Gabe Davis had the 200 yards because of Stefon Diggs. But we're gonna talk about that. But you guys know it's time for that. Well, we're way past the halfway mark, but it's time for bad takes. And this is the season finale of bad takes. And as we said tonight, we were gonna call it angry takes. Because I understand people anger, and I'm not gonna hold you. I get it. A lot of emotions the other day. As Mookie said, we'll go in 13 seconds.
That's gonna be my article on writing. It'll be out tomorrow. Gone in 13.
All right, cool. Let us know when it's out. We get a share, man. Get a share. But bad take number 1. Yeah, just like Josh trusted you on no squib kick, that would have killed them to 1 play, or maybe to a play of soft zone 2 straight plays. Trust is earned. You show respect to your $250 million leader. Tell McDermott to bow down to Josh Allen, not Josh McDermott. Jesus. Moment is too big again. Way to show you don't belong, you frauds.
Man.
Yeah, that people mad, man. Bad take. Matter of fact, some of these takes were so bad I couldn't even use them because people were so mad. Yeah, we try to get the FCC on us. Bad take number 3. Sean McDermott should be fired. That's a bad take. I get it. It took us this long to get a coach. I can go through the list of Malarkey, Ryan, Marone. We want to fire him. Come on, y'all. Come on.
Oh, man.
Bad take number 4. It's a curse being a fan of this team.
It's a curse, Bills Mafia.
Yeah, it's a curse.
Stop breaking tables.
Bad take number 5. Number 1 defense, my behind. Doesn't work if you can't win when it matters. Josh Allen played a Super Bowl worthy game, and the defense looked him in the face and spit on him.
Oh, man.
I can't front though. I can't even front. I'm gonna let you finish today. So.
And James, maybe the final drum roll. We may do bad takes in the offseason. People like me saying some crazy stuff about signings and stuff. But bad take number 6, final take of the season. James, final drum roll, please. Bad take number 6, season finale. Here it is. Josh smashed my 4K TV, just smashed my 4K TV in front of over 30 guests at my cocktail party because of the Bills' performance today. My wife just took out our crying kids and said they all spent a night in a motel. This team has ruined my life and my party. I can't do this any longer. Goodbye, Bills fans.
That is Hall of Fame. That is Hall of Fame. I don't know what's going to top that one right there.
The man that smashed his TV, his wife, then took the kids, went to a motel.
The 4K TV now. You know he had to go with that.
Man, bro.
Real Pacific.
Oh, he smashed. Don't smash tables, not TVs, baby. Smash tables,
right
not TVs.
That was definitely gold. But I can say this: the best play that was made defensively was made by Stefon Diggs tackling the fan that was coming across the field.
Yeah, he clobbered. That was frustration, man. Steph laid that dude out.
Yeah, but like he was running over to the Bills side. Like Stefon, but that was the best defensive play the Bills made all game. Was made by Stefon Diggs. So the defense damn sure ain't make no plays like that.
They should have gave Steph a personal foul when he hit that man.
He shoot. You don't know what these crazy fans. That's the talk. Did you see Deion take his shoe and hurl it?
Yes.
Straight jump cousin.
Man. That is the fun. That was the funniest part of it. Deion tussle. Do you see Chris Jones and Frank Carter just looking at Deion?
Just heaved his shoe like, the F out of here.
I mean, he threw it pretty far. His arm may be stronger than Josh the way he threw that damn shoe.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him how far he shot put a dude's shoe.
Yeah, for real. Give it some time. But no, we want to talk about the disappearance of Stefon Diggs in this game. And I don't think it was on Steph. I believe that the Chiefs did a very good job of taking Steph out of this game. And I mean, I thought they gave Steph problems in all 4 games that we've played them, bracketed them. But James, Stefon Diggs had three catches for 7 yards? 2 catches?
3 for 7, yeah. I mean, you get in those situations where you have a team say, all right, if we lose, this guy will not beat us. By any means necessary, we're gonna stop Stefon Diggs. And that was obvious what their game plan was. And they were successful at that, but they weren't successful at stopping our offense.
Correct.
But, they did contain Stefon Diggs. I mean, obviously Josh Allen is going to take what the defense is good. He's not going to force feed him the ball when you got Gabe Davis eating, and then Cole Beasley had a solid day as well. So, they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, I had a feeling they were like, hey, Dawson Knox isn't going to beat us, and Stefon Diggs isn't going to beat us. These other guys got to beat us, and they damn near did. But I think that was a game plan. I don't think he just disappeared and just came up like Amani Cooper or something like that. That's not one of those situations. I think in a situation the game plan was him.
They bracket him. And Mook, is that what you saw? They Stefon Diggs pretty much bracket him. We're gonna let anybody else beat us but Steph and obviously Josh Allen.
Yeah, that was pretty much the game plan. When you look at like what happened last game, Steph got off. Dawson had 3 catches for 117 yards in the score. So they wasn't gonna allow those two to get off. So they doubled and they bracketed. And the one-on-one matchup was Gabriel Davis, and that's why he had that career day, because they didn't care. Let Gabriel Davis have that career day. We're not gonna let your star players beat us, and that's something that the Bills should have did. They should have took that same mindset and did the exact same thing. McCole Harmon would have had 200 damn yards, or Jamarcus Robinson would have had 200 damn yards. We're not going to allow their star players to do what they normally do. And the Bills just let them combine for 18 catches, 238 yards, and 2 touchdowns when it mattered. And that's the difference of the ball game, because you didn't stop their star players. All right? They stopped our star players and forced us to make plays on 3rd and 4th down. Thank God for having a quarterback like Josh Allen that could do that. Any other quarterback, I don't think, was able to do that unless it's Patrick Mahomes. But at the end of the day, we didn't do enough to take their star players away. Their star players had their way in clutch moments, and that's why we lost the ball game.
And that's it. I know a lot of people were saying that Stefon Diggs didn't show up, he didn't do anything. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. And that's the reason I put this question out there. This is not a dig at Stefon. Well, there's no pun intended, but this is not a dig at Stefon. The Bills' offense is be able to score because of the Stefon Diggs effect. And if you don't think that having Stefon Diggs on the field, there is a Stefon Diggs effect, then you're out your mind. You're out your mind. Because if you don't account for him, and if you try to be arrogant enough to throw a J.C. Jackson on him one-on-one all game, we've seen what's going to happen. We saw what has happened.
The craziness is everything that I asked these dudes last week came true. I asked Stefon. I say, how do you plan to make an impact without touching the ball? I asked Stefon Diggs that on Wednesday because I knew that was going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I need to know what his process, what his way of thinking is going to be. You know, and it can be frustrating as a receiver when teams bracket coverage you, double team you. It's frustration to a number one receiver. So I want to know what's his mindset. And let's prepare his mind right now because that's what's going to happen. And it happened. I asked Levi Wallace, what's going to happen? Do you feel disrespected because teams throw at you? He would have act goofy. Guess what? We all know how goofy he is now. I asked Coach Frazier, how important is eye discipline? Because when teams act like they go on screen left and then they come back and do screen right on those missed counter screens. Jared McKinnon late in the game ended up getting that big screenplay and got a good big chunk gain out of that. So all the things that I asked those guys happened within the course of that ball game, and Kansas City was still successful.
Yeah. So, no, you're right on. I mean, like I said, I don't want to stay on it too long because, like I said, I knew why Gabe Davis got off. I know why Cole Beasley was getting those catches again in the middle of the field wide open because Stefon Diggs being bracketed. Gabe Davis, very quickly, number 2 receiver. Did he earn that role yet? Are you guys trusting him to be number 2 receiver heading into 2022, or do we need to add another one as well? Muki, I come to you first.
Oh, without a doubt, he's a number 2 receiver.
Okay.
I mean, he's a number 2 receiver, and we just need to bring Isaiah McKenzie back to be that number 3, or you got to see what Isaiah Hopkins made up. I think Josh, we need a bigger target. We need a big, fast guy. Somebody that Josh can easily see downfield. We need a 6'3", 6'4" guy that could blow the top off this thing. And it's easier for Josh to we need a big slot, something. I'm tired of these little guys. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Chargers, everybody is big. All their receivers are tall. Our quarterback is 6'5", 6'6". We need another 6'4", 6'5" receiver that Josh can hit easily down the field. And that's going to open up for, Diggs, is going to open up for, Gabriel Davis. They got Isaiah Hopkins. They got Jake Kumaro. They got Speedy Stevenson. So we just have to see, what's going to happen this offseason and what they're going to do. So we got Brandon Bean around, so I got a few questions for him.
All right. James, Gabe Davis, then we're going to take some questions for everybody in the chat. I got y'all tonight. Don't worry.
Okay. I totally agree with Muki. What's understood don't need to be explained. I think he more than earned the right to be the number 2 receiver. I think, you got, Stefon Diggs obviously is the number 1 guy, one of the best receivers in the league. Gabe Davis, I think he signed 2 guys. Me personally, I just let McKenzie go. Let Isaiah McKenzie go.
He ain't coming back.
I'm not saying he's bad.
He's unhappy. You can see it.
No. Too inconsistent to me.
You can see he's unhappy.
Yeah,
really.
Let him go. We go sign two other guys. Just go sign 2 ballers, and let's roll with it.
I'm not trying to start a rumor mill, but there is a rumor that the Seahawks may look to move DK Metcalf. Muki just said 6'3", 6'4", on the top off a defense, just a name that I know.
We should have drafted him. We took Cody Ford.
yeah. Don't remind us. Don't remind us. But yeah, let's get some questions in here. My man Major Cole got a question for you, James. He said, "Yo, James, would you roll with Zach Moss next year, or would you bring in a free agent?"
How do I ask that?
Major Cole, my CCSU brother. I'm getting rid of him first day I can possibly trade somebody. And it's not personal. I just think that I don't know if it's his approach, because he has all the ability in the world. Like, he can play. I don't know if it's his approach. I don't know if he don't fit. Whatever it is, he's just not a good football player right now for us. That don't mean he's not a good football player in this league. He's not a very good running back right now. Move on from him. I would trade for somebody, a veteran guy, maybe sign a Melvin Gordon. You need somebody, to kind of come in and
Kareem Hunt.
spell.
Kareem Hunt's name is out there.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is a baller, but I think Singletary's a 1,200-yard back in this league. He's a starting running back. I think he's our guy, but you got to bring somebody in that can also give us a pop in the backfield.
Another guy I would look at is I wouldn't take Miles Sanders' name off the book. Miles Sanders is a guy that obviously it seems like Philly may be heading towards the trade. What's the guy with Boston Scott is his name, and Keith Gainwell show. And actually, Miles Sanders has 1 year left on his deal, so they may look to move him. A swap for Zach Moss for Miles Sanders may be something that could be in the cards. You never know.
I would even throw a sweetener in there. I'll give him a pick on top of that.
Well, you would have to.
I'll give you 2 picks.
You would have to.
You could take them.
Mook, I'm gonna let you take this one. How can we get Diggs on one-on-one looks? Do we need another receiver threat? Jake Smith asked.
We definitely need another receiver, but you got to be a little bit more creative. If you know that teams are going to double your number one receiver, you just can't let him get double. What are you going to do to counter that? What are you going to do to get your number one receiver free? What are you going to do to get your number one receiver involved in the game? Teams, you look at the Green Bay Packers. Devontae Adams get the ball 15 targets a game, no matter what. And other than the San Fran game, he's chewing defenders up left and right. So I think it's more or less a Daboll's scheme.
Yeah,
his scheme is inconsistent at times. We high powered one week and then we're mediocre. And it's crazy that they got that inconsistent. Just look at the Jacksonville Jaguar game. What took you so long to get Stefon Diggs the ball? Easy slants and stuff like that, just to get them involved in the game. And you wait to the fourth quarter to do that? You could have been doing that in the beginning of the game, and we wouldn't lose 9-6. So it's just run crossing routes. If you're just running your man, stop using your number one receiver as a decoy and get him involved in the game. Run him across the middle, just like how Kansas City was doing against us.
Ken Dorsey get it done.
Yeah, Ken Dorsey will definitely get it done. That's why I hope that they will, get this job in with the Giants, and we can see what Ken Dorsey's made of, because in the University of Miami he had hella running backs.
Yeah, running backs, and we see had everything. He had everything under the sun. And you know what? Like I said, Daboll's gonna get this job because we've been campaigning real hard behind the scenes, man. I've been sending out flyers and making calls, and Daboll 2022, he's your man.
I'd be more happy for him, though.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
He's deserving, but New York, I think, is a good fit because he gets to stay in the state and don't have to really move his family too far, and just deal with it. You got some pieces. You got Saquon. You don't know what's the deal on Daniel Jones. You bring in Trubisky as an insurance policy.
Right.
Who knows? But we got to wait and see if he gets.
Someone got a question about a backup quarterback we're going to get to, too. Our man, Cody Wells, I want to appreciate you, Cody, for tuning in all year, man. Do you think KC in the playoffs gets in coaches' heads, make them question their calls and play safe for fear of losing? That's a good question. I'm going to say yeah. I'm definitely going to say yeah. I think Tyreek Hill. I think specifically Tyreek Hill. I'm going to say yeah. James?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there.
Yeah. And we saw when he went to 0-100, 0-64 real quick on his Muki. KC, they get in coaches' heads, make them question their calls and play safe for fear of losing?
Do you think KC in the playoffs gets in the coaches' heads and make? Yeah, obviously, what made McDermott call that timeout after Kansas City broke the huddle or whatever they showed them? What did McDermott see to make him say timeout? Oh yeah, we got them, and then I want all y'all to back off, back away. They're gonna throw deep. You overcoaching right now. Mahomes ain't threw deep in two outings. Y'all done played him. So what makes you think he's going to
really 3? He didn't throw deep in the playoff game last year either.
Didn't have to. So
Right.
What did you see that you thought that you were going to go deep? You're overcoaching. You should have just had 2-man rushing and have 9 in coverage, and you bump and run their star players. Mahomes only got some odd seconds. He got to make a quick decision no matter what, because time is not on their side. Right. So he has to make a quick decision. He's going to run with this ball, run out of bounds, stop the clock, or run to get yards, call timeout, whatever the case. Nevertheless, the clock is ticking. All right. If he's number one, if he's going through his progression, and his number one is available right off the rip, which it was, you get that result. If he has to go to his number two progression, guess what? Some seconds that came off the clock. If he had to go to his number three progression, hella seconds that came off the clock. Bills didn't do nothing to make sure that Mahomes went through full progressions in those 10 seconds. You play soft and off, and when you play prevent defense, the only thing that do is prevent you from winning the game, and that's what happened. I mean, in the history of football, this has never, ever, ever happened. So you can say what you want. Coach McDermott, I know he got the biggest bottle of alcohol right now looking at tape on all these woulda, shoulda, couldas that he could have prevented his team from losing this game. And, you know, he got to be accountable for that. You know what I mean? He got to be accountable for that. Even though Kansas City defense didn't play good neither, you know what I mean? But Josh Allen and that offense did what they were supposed to do. There's no way in hell you lose that game in 13 seconds, man. That's the worst. To me, that's the worst of the Music City Miracle. Don't even compare to you losing the game this fashion, because you still control the outcome. You controlled the outcome defensively. Only thing you had to do was get a stop, or it like this is the worst devastating loss out of all the devastating losses the Bills have had. This is numero uno, A1 Ulu right here.
All right.
Had no business losing that game.
All right, man. Lone Wolf asked backup quarterback, any ideas? James, come to you first. We do this quick.
I'm gonna say Drew Lock.
Okay, I'm second in Drew Lock with you on that one. Move backup quarterback option with assuming Trubisky's leaving.
If Trubisky goes, the Bills have to get another guy that kind of like fits their scheme, and has to have some mobility. So, what quarterback is out there with some sort of mobility? Yeah. I said Andrew Lock. Who else is out there though?
I think it'll be a lot.
Or do you bring Trubisky back? You throw a few dollars at him.
I think he's going for a starting job though. I think he's going to sign. I think even if he got less money somewhere else, I think he's going to take that risk because that's that long-term contract effect. He goes to Washington, he goes to New York, he goes to Miami, somewhere like that. He ain't gonna never be out Josh Allen for this job. So, it's about kind of risking.
How about Marcus Mariota? Maybe Mariota comes over.
Yeah, Mariota would be a good fit. Mariota would be a good fit.
Tyrod come back.
Oh man,
I could welcome that.
I love it, but don't even say that about Bills Mafia. Jesus. My man Spoon asked, why didn't Tyreek Hill get called for the taunting on that TD?
That pissed me off. Don't even get me started on that one.
Luckily, he didn't get called because they was gonna score regardless. And luckily, that touchdown did give us a minute too.
But the referee
got called, but they missed it. Anybody else they would have called that on?
Yeah, the referee, the officiating this year, it's been super consistent and actually embarrassing.
Right. Let's see. Dana Roberts says, do we get Singletary better back, mate? We already answered that. Ahmed Mathis asked, why can't Dable find ways to get Diggs and McKenzie the ball? You answered that just a couple minutes ago, Mook. Let's see here.
Did you see what they was doing? I was cringing when the Bills was in 21 personnel and they had Gilliam doing what McKenzie was doing orbit motions with him and then throwing the ball to him. I'm like, what are we doing? Like stop that. Like, just what are y'all doing? Oh my goodness. Like, we have some
I know somebody saying Ryan Fitzpatrick too, our backup quarterback. I think he's retiring. That hip is. I think he's done that.
We love you, Fitzmagic, but it's over, baby.
Yeah, that hip is messed up, man. It's over. Once you mess your hip up, it's time you got to go, man. Spoons always asks, do we continue to use Josh in the same fashion running the ball? Thinking long term, should Josh Allen have more control over the offensive plays? I think it's headed that route personally. I think that when McDermott's comments today about whoever they hire as next OC, they will have input from Josh Allen on that. Personally, I think we all assume that this is going to be Ken Dorsey.
I think that's been done. I think that was done last season. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect, Dable, what he was going to do, fire Dable? I mean, I think it was under impression that Ken Dorsey was going to have the job this year. But Obviously, they're gonna put their heads together. Ken Dorsey, ask anybody around the league. He's a brilliant offensive mind. So I think we got a steal there.
Right. No, like I said, well, I know Rod Robertson says that before the taunt, it was they would have came back. But what I'm saying is, it would have came back, but they would have scored regardless on that drive. Our defense couldn't stop them, so it worked in our favor that they didn't call that to keep more time off the clock and give Josh 15 seconds. But yeah, as far as the utilizing Josh, I think that we can still utilize him running the ball at times because I thought we picked our spots at times this year. And another thing I noticed that Josh protected himself a lot better than he has in years past from running the ball. Near the sideline, he was getting out. Getting down the field, he was sliding out. Games he's having bad games. I know he damn near gave J. Ward a concussion the other day when he was angry. You know, we don't – I like to see it, but we don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I think long term, I think Josh is going to take care of himself long term. I think that he's cognizant of that. He's recognizing that his team needs him. Best year I've seen him protect himself. And we'll take about one more question here. Let's see. There's one more I saw. Okay. Fonzo Edwards asked, how's everyone feeling about the overtime format? Should it change and give both teams a chance in OT? James, what are you thinking?
Absolutely. I just think it's embarrassing as a league that you got fans that's looking at that come to watch a game and that's watching on TV, and maybe the best player on the field didn't get a chance to touch the ball in overtime. Ridiculous.
Mook, I mean, do you have any suggestion for the overtime format? Because I actually have an idea.
College format, but instead of 25, I'll say start at the 40.
Okay. So the opposing team's 40, like 40 yards to the end zone. Okay. Yep. Mook.
I wouldn't mind, but 9 times out of 10, I'm an old school dude, man. Get a stop defense. Get a stop. If you want the damn football back, get a damn stop. How about that? Don't cry that you ain't getting the ball. Tell your damn defense to stop somebody. Because it sure in the hell didn't stop nobody in overtime, and it sure in the hell didn't stop nobody the entire game. If you want the ball back, go tell your defense to stop somebody.
Right. You know, I personally, I would like to see the format change. Not because of the Bills game. I wanted to see the format change before this game. I mean, the Bills gave up 10 points in a matter of like 3 minutes between overtime and the last 13 seconds of the game. So I'm not going there with that. I'm not trying to have them change it because of this one game. But personally, I would like to see each team get the ball at the 50. I would like to take the kickoff back, but I don't think you can start the 25 or too close to it because this is professional football. This ain't college, so you got to make it a little bit harder. But I like to see both teams start at the 50. That's all. And one more question, and then we're out of here because it was a good question, my man. Major Cole, how much do you think the offense would change for Ken Dorsey? James, this is a guy that you've been campaigning for and talking. What do you think would change with him?
It'd be a lot more creative. And I think it'll be a lot more, it'll have rhythm to it. I don't think we'll have every game we have 3 or 4 possessions where it's just like blah. It's just like going through the motions. It was no rhythm or no reason to the play calls. It's just, all right, we're gonna run the outside zone here. Okay, if you don't pop it, we're gonna throw a obvious screen pass, and all right, let's see what happens on third down. Just some dumb stuff. And with Ken Dorsey, I think he'll be able to utilize a lot of weapons. I think we'll have 6, 7 receivers active. I think all of them will be involved. I think it'll be a lot of misdirection. I think he'll get a better use out of the offensive line as well. He'll probably play to their strength instead of taking their strength and playing to get coaching against that. But that's a whole other story with Dable. But I think that he'll be a lot more creative and he'll know how to get people the ball.
You'll see plays actually set up for big plays, than him just sporadically calling plays.
Putting the crayons down to pick it up the eraser board markers, right? Because it did seem like we was calling plays with crayon, man. We were coming out there like, all right, drawing on the football. Yeah. You go here, I'm gonna go here.
What we was calling out there sometimes, we just call anything.
But I tell you what, Dave will pick the perfect time to call his best 2 games of the season because he's gonna get a job off those 2 games.
Friday, we're gonna find out. I think it's just a process because I think the Giants only interviewed one black coach, and that's Flores, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're going to finalize.
No,
that
they interviewed Leslie too. They did Leslie too.
Okay, well, that's just a formality. They didn't know if Leslie wasn't coming. And then, furthermore, they're the worst offensive team in the NFL, and they was the only offensive guy that they interviewed. So, after they deal with Flores on Thursday, come Friday, hopefully we should hear Dable is being named as head coach. I hope so.
And once you hear Joe Schoen name comes up, you kind of knew that's like, all right, listen, he's bringing his culture over. And actually, another name is I wouldn't be surprised to end up over there, Jerry Hughes. Wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Hughes end up over there because, like I said, just like here, you have to build your culture first. Jerry will come in and help with your culture. So that'll be another name I look for going with Brand Dable and Joe Schoen if Dable takes the job over there. Sidney Martinez Jackson asks, is the podcast continuing on Tuesdays in the off season? I think we are going to do something. I don't know if it's going to be exactly this format on every Tuesday, but we definitely going to keep running and having different segments about different players.
JT, you playing the streets asking for it, man. They begging for it on Tuesday, JT.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely because normally in the off season for the last 2 years, I take off for like 2 months. During the draft time, you ain't seeing me. I don't do draft coverage, but this year I am going to stay on because like me and James have talked about it in the last couple of years. We have so many conversations off air that we predict things, we say things.
Consistent, young man. You got to be consistent.
Right.
You can't be out here like Dable now. You got to be consistent.
Right. I'm not going to be podcasting and crying this year. I'm going to keep going. And we talked about it before. And a lot of things that we say we talk about, we ain't got no receipts for because it ain't live on air. So this year we're going to make sure we have all the receipts. So I think I'll come back after this show. I'll probably come back after the Super Bowl. That's when we'll come back. Then we'll start getting ready about free agents, re-signings. We're gonna be talking about everything. I know a lot of other
can't do a Super Bowl special.
What we gonna do? We're gonna talk about how the Chiefs stole our damn championship.
How the Rams
playing the Bengals like
how the Rams win the Super Bowl because they went all in. That's what we talk about. How the Rams is gonna have a home Super Bowl. How about that? Just like Tampa Bay did. I better peep game out here, man. I'm trying to tell you.
No, I'm with you. I'm not against your all-in theory. I think that what the Rams are doing, they're playing a dangerous game. I think they went. You say they went all in. You do mean they definitely went all in. Mm-hmm. They threw all the chips on the poker table, just like they did a couple years ago, and they got the Super Bowl. So I give it to them. They've been to one Super Bowl. If they win on Sunday, they'd be 2 out of the last 5 years.
I'm like that. 2 out of 4.
It's a dangerous game, but We'll see what happens. But no, I just want to thank everybody once again for tuning in all season. And like I said, this was something new this year. Thank my man Mook for coming on all the time, James being here all the time. And this show is growing and growing and growing. And I enjoy it. It's not too scripted. We don't talk about all this stuff out here. What we're gonna talk about, we get on here and we talk. Mookie does things with the interview. James is a former NFL player, and he brings that insight. And I'm just gonna ask whatever. It don't matter. It's whatever. We're gonna talk about it. So I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in all season. And it's gonna take a while to get over this loss. It's gonna take a while. And if the Chiefs hoist that trophy, this is gonna feel just as bad as when we saw the Titans go to Super Bowl after the Music City Miracle. It's gonna hurt because that could have been us. And you knew, like you said last week, if the Bills win this game and the Bengals come to the Buffalo AFC Championship game, it was a wrap for them. Yeah. We was tearing the goalpost. The goalpost was ended up in Lake Erie. We know this. So, yeah, man. I just want to say thank everybody tuning in. And then, like I said, shout out to James, shout out to Mook. Mook, keep doing your thing out there. Don't let none of these haters get in your way, man. And keep asking your questions. Keep being a fan. Don't worry about these analytics and data. Like I said, I want to talk about the data analytics real quick too. I'm like Mookie, right? I'm a football guy, and James is the same way. We know what we see. We've been around this game. We've eaten. We've breathed this game. We've been around this game forever before data and analytics were even around like that. There's a place for data analytics in this game. Don't get me wrong. In research, there's a great place for it. But then there's times where you have to use your damn eyes.
Yeah. And honestly, my 9 to 5. We can get data to show anything. Literally, you could get data to prove any point right. Like literally, you could look up data and get some type of data and skew any type of argument you want. But that film, that eye in the sky, will never ever lie. That's just gonna tell you everything you need to know.
It's just bad. Sometimes, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna wait till next year to ask Coach this. But sometimes, using analytics will kind of make you overanalyze things. You know what I'm saying? And whatever happened, I mean, it's bad to the point where you use analytics to see where the damn wind is blowing. Whatever happened to just grabbing the damn grass up off the ground, throwing it up in the air to see where it's blowing? You know what I mean? Like you gotta ask analytics for that. You gotta ask somebody upstairs, hey, which way the wind is blowing? And it's just it's good and it's bad for the sport. You know what I mean? It takes away from the sport for me because I'm a football guy. Don't sit up here and try to crunch numbers with me and be technical. You know what I mean? The game is won between the lines, man. That's where I'm at. I'm between the lines. Meet me at the 50. Don't pull up no paper talking about, well, this according to this, he's 54%. And again, if a team is completing over 54% on third down on you, what does that mean? That means the offense is still on the field. The defense is still playing damn defense. It's still horrible. Anything over 50% on third down is a first down. So they had no argument, but them being who they are, I guess they want to be politically correct over analytics. I'm not an analytic guy. I play football. I mean,
like I said, it's a time and a place for it, but it doesn't overrule the people who've been around the game in the eyes of the game. Because a lot of people who do it in data analytics, a lot of these guys, they never touched the football field. That's why you do data analytics.
Levi Wallace got torched today. They ain't had nothing to say. They was mad talking about I'm moving goalposts and all that weird stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm still shooting at you, cover one, if you're listening. Yes, I am. So what do you have to say about that? Somebody please tell me how many times Levi Wallace was targeted Sunday. I bet you he was the most targeted guy Sunday. Dude, can we find some damn analytics for that?
I could probably find it.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably find it.
Because they should cover one show. Ain't showed me nothing yet since, we had this argument all week about it. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to keep doing me. And if people don't like it, oh, well, that's how I am. That's just how I am. Yeah, that's just how I am. I'm sorry. I was built this way. I earned my spot. I've been coaching this thing for over 30 years. I've had battles with that guy at the top screen right there. He can contest to that. You know what I mean? If I wasn't winning it, guess what? They was winning it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, can't nobody tell me jack nothing about this game. Because I didn't coach pros. I didn't coach guys that won Super Bowls that played on the same damn team from my little league squad. Can't nobody say that. So at the end of the day, I know football. And I know what my eyes see at the end of the day. And I don't need a piece of damn paper of data to tell me that. Point blank period.
And just because you want the numbers, I'm quick with this. Levi Wallace targeted 10 times, 6 completions, 131 yards, 1 touchdown, QB rating when targeting him, 137.5.
How many catches he allowed?
6 out of 10.
60%. That's 60%.
Oh, man.
That's 60%.
It would be 60%. All right. You know what?
The numbers don't lie, I guess, in this case, right? Analytics, baby. You gotta love them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to put that one up.
But any final thoughts, fellas? James?
Yeah, I know this hurt Bills fans, but we got to flush it. And look, I mean, other times when we've been upset or we've had heartbreaking losses, look how bright the future is. Look at we got a bunch of young talent. We finally got, which I think is the best quarterback in our franchise history. People can curse me out or whatever. Best quarterback in franchise history. We have a great core. We're gonna be good. If I'm a betting man, I'm putting money on us to win the next year in Vegas. How you loving that one?
Yeah. James, thanks for the season, man. Mook, final thoughts?
James, man, thanks for those damn drum rolls, man. Those drum rolls, man. It's
you know.
Final thoughts. The Bills once again showed that they are one of the top teams in the league, and you're going to see that next year when the Bills probably have like 5-6 primetime games. They're going to probably play Thanksgiving again in Detroit. They're definitely going to play Kansas City on Monday night. That might be week 1 matchup or that Thursday night game. You know, they definitely going to play that. They're going to play the Rams at SoFi. So that's going to be a primetime game. So look for the Bills to be primetime, headline with, our franchise quarterback. And hopefully they can make these necessary moves in the offseason that's going to make them an ultimate contender to get them over the hump this season. So, Bills fans, I mean, we just got to lick our wounds once again. And just like Josh Allen said, man, this is not our time. It's not our time. I mean, when you look back at it, before the Bills ran the table and got to 4 straight, they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, the Icky Shuffle year. And then, let's not forget Ronnie Harmon dropped the ball in Cleveland. I mean, before we went through that, we had 2 bad breaks before the Bills finally got over that hump and racked off 4 straight. So history, Jai, kind of repeats itself. So this is it right here. This is probably Kansas City last hurrah. And then next year will be a new sheriff in town if the Bills do what they're supposed to do and use this game as motivation and not to play around next year when you play any team on a week-to-week.
That's it, fellas. I mean, I got much to say. I have no final thoughts. It's just enjoy the season. Enjoy you guys off season. Hopefully that they make the right moves to get back to this point. And I agree. I'm very confident heading into 2022, 2023. And I hate to have to say that, but I'm very confident. I felt like this year was a rocky ride. It's not surprising me it was rocky ride. Last year was a lot of hype. And I don't know if they came out thinking this year was going to be a cakewalk. And we're lucky that we had the last 5 games that we had. We're lucky that those teams were on the schedule at that point in time because we may have not made the playoffs at all. So one thing I know is this team is resilient. They've always come back stronger from everything. So there's no reason for me to doubt them now. But, hey, guys, that's it. That's a wrap on the it's nothing personal, just Bills season 1. And our league year starts after the Super Bowl. So we'll be back. And that's it. James, one more drum roll for the road. We out of here. Thank y'all, man.
All right, y'all.